Hey guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Yo, it's crazy how life is, and like how two people can cross paths and not thinking nothing of it, and then something catastrophic happens, and you remember, hey, I met this person before. Today, I'm going to talk about a story out of Memphis, Tennessee. Shout out Memphis, and it's involving this guy right here, who a lot of people are heartbroken over his death. This is Pastor Ricky Floyd. And the reason, this guy was gunned down last night by this woman, supposedly. Her name is Samantha Marion. And she's currently locked up. They still haven't had a motive, but a lot of people are devastated for what happened to Mr. Floyd, Pastor Floyd. And what's crazy is, when I seen his face, I'm like, I know that guy. And I'm like, I was in Memphis, I'm like, where do I know this guy at? And you know, I go down there and I cover the Tyree Nichols case extensively. I go down to Memphis from Houston. You know, I'm friends with the family and stuff. The day we went, that, you know, some of you guys are with me, we covered that story. The day they had the deliberations, right? And I did that live stream. About 3 hours before that, I had went to a Kroger. And I had met a subscriber that recognized me. I spoke to her. Right after that, I met this guy and was introduced to him. I shook his hand. He told me his name. I never thought nothing about it. And I left. And now this guy is gone. That's crazy. You meet somebody and now they're not here. But anyway, this guy lost his life last night. 1 something in the morning, they said, I think it was. In the wee hours of the morning. And he was shot by this woman after an altercation. Said this guy spoke in his church about being nonviolent and stuff, and he still succumbed to gun violence. As horrible as that is. You never know when death's coming for you. Here's the story, man. Pay attention to what you hear in this first video that I show you, leading into the update of the second video.
At 4.
Breaking news on your news leader at 4 today. We're learning more about what may have happened to a well-known pastor who died in the streets of Memphis early this morning. Pastor Ricky Floyd was shot and killed outside a South Memphis bar and kitchen. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Alex Coleman.
And I'm April Thompson. We're just getting information in from police this afternoon. An affidavit says 3 people, including a woman who is now charged, got into an argument with Pastor Floyd. It goes on to say that a video from Mama's Bar and Kitchen shows Floyd threw the suspect's phone to the ground along with the beer can.
Now, police say he started to drive away but got out and walked toward her. Then she reportedly moved toward Floyd, and that's when police say he walked backwards away from her and then fell to the ground. Of course, this has all sent shockwaves all across Memphis and the Mid-South.
Indeed, those in the community as well as other pastors are responding hours after learning the man who preached nonviolence is one of the city's latest victims of violence.
Crime scene tape blowing violently in the wind marks the spot where a violent attack happened overnight. It was just after 1 a.m. when police were called here to Mama's Bar and Kitchen at the corner of Kentucky Street and E.H. Crump Boulevard. Listen as dispatch relays information from Broadcastify.
It was involving a female shooting a male who was constantly approaching her in an aggressive manner.
Police, along with other first responders, soon arrived, but there was nothing they could do. This ambulance sat idle, as the man shot was never rushed away from the scene. Instead, this is where he was pronounced dead. The victim, we learned, is Pastor Ricky Floyd, the senior lead pastor of Pursuit of God Transformation Center in Frazier.
I don't know what to say. A pastor would be slaughtered. It's just rare, and I guess it's rare, but it seems to be an occurrence that's happening more often.
A manager here at Mama's Bar and Kitchen told us off camera this did not happen inside the establishment. They're also telling us it happened once they closed up. She wanted to make that clear. However, what's unclear is what prompted the deadly shooting. A source with first-hand knowledge of the case says there was a dispute between Pastor Floyd and a woman later identified as Samantha Marion. The source goes on to say the pastor threw her phone before things spilled into the streets and then spiraled out of control, ending with Samantha Marion allegedly shooting and killing the pastor. She has since been charged with voluntary manslaughter, a killing in which someone is said to have acted in the heat of passion. While police continue piecing together what happened, there's a community far and wide grappling with grief.
To all of those in Memphis and Shelby County and throughout the country and throughout the world that had the chance to encounter this brother's life and ministry. So it's definitely a time to mourn.
For your news leader in South Memphis, Jarita Patterson, WREG, News Channel 3.
And that police affidavit says the suspect, 42-year-old Samantha Marion, admitted to the shooting. She's charged with voluntary manslaughter and is set to be in court tomorrow. And earlier today, Dr. Keith Norman, pastor of First Baptist Church Broad, spoke with us about his colleague and good friend.
While he was a great preacher, the staple of his mark on the city of Memphis would be his love and care for people and innovative approach to doing ministry outside of the pulpit and outside of the four walls of the church. He was strongly committed to that, and I'm prayerful that we will remain focused in that area and keep that legacy alive.
A shooting this morning in South Memphis kills a beloved pastor from Frazier. Police say Ricky Floyd died just after 1 a.m. outside Mama's Bar and Kitchen on Kentucky, right at Crump Boulevard. They say Floyd and a woman were seen arguing before she shot him. Tonight, 42-year-old Samantha Marion is charged with voluntary manslaughter. Now, we do not know yet exactly why the trigger was pulled. But what we do know is that Floyd was a passionate advocate for his Frazier community as pastor of Pursuit of God Church. Floyd also started programs and businesses meant to improve the lives of others, especially young people who needed guidance, in his words, to stay on the right path. Fox 13 continues our team coverage here at 6, first from Pastor Floyd's home church, and he also from some of the businesses that he helped build, both now part of his legacy to improve his community.
You know, he's been a father figure to me, like I said, over 25 years. And so I don't know. It's just, it's not words that we really can say. It's just that we got to do it. We got to keep fighting for the legacy of this man who did so much great in our city and for so many people to help us get where we are.
Words from Commissioner Charlie Caswell there. Now, legacy is one of the words that kept coming up today as we talked to people about Floyd. His positive impact made the pain of his loss all the more difficult to handle for members of his Pursuit of God Church in Frazier. Fox 13 investigative reporter Kayla Solomon is there live right now. Kayla, tonight there was supposed to be their midweek service.
Yeah, Daryl, but I was told earlier today that midweek service has been canceled, and now this complete closure of this campus is happening, at least for the rest of tonight. Now, we know that this is the location that Pursuit of God Church has been in for the last 5 years, but I spoke to some church members who say they knew Pastor Ricky Floyd much further back than that.
My heart very heavy. I'm sure everybody's seen it, their heart feel the same way.
Heavy hearts, but still full of prayer.
We understand that our heart is heavy.
As people showed up Wednesday to Pursuit of God Church to pay respects to Pastor Ricky Floyd.
He was my pastor for about 10 years. He had a good impact on the community due to the violence and bringing the teenagers together.
He's a great person in the neighborhood. He helped so many people out here.
Fed a lot of people.
He fed people. He did a lot.
Among the mourners was church member, friend, and Shelby County Commissioner Charlie Caswell.
He could have moved his church anywhere. He stayed planted here in what is one of the #1 violent zip codes in our community to fight for our children and families so we can change the narratives and outcomes that we see happening in our community. I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be the man that I am. Because I was that young boy. One of them, he saved 20-some years ago. That was headed down the wrong road, but Floyd saw something in me that he saw in so many of these young men.
Caswell said his emotions stem from the void he and other Frazier leaders will now have to fill.
This is going to be hard. It's going to be hard, and for us as a community, again, the legacy of who he was, and the things that's happening in this community has been because of what this man fought for.
Now, of course, the campus here at Pursuit of God Church is not only home to the church services, but there are a number of nonprofits that work out of here, including the Husband Institute, which Pastor Floyd started, as well as Agape Children and Family Services. Daryl.
That is investigative reporter Kayla Solomon live in Fraser.
Story this morning. The woman accused of shooting and killing Memphis pastor Ricky Floyd was in court this morning.
Yeah, Action News 5's Darius Haywood was in the courtroom with how he was in the courtroom, and he's joining us in the live now with how this case is moving forward. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, y'all. Now, while Marion was in court this morning, she spent most of that time ducked away from our cameras. When we did see her, when she did lift her head up, she could be seen crying at one point. Now, the judge in this case asked if she could afford an attorney or pay her $100,000 bond. Marion told the court that she wasn't sure if her family could afford either. A public defender was requested by the judge. Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy was in court today, and he says that his office has no plans to increase bail in this case, but will oppose any plan to reduce it.
Clearly, there's more pressure when there's a lot of public attention on a particular case. We try not to let that make a decision. You know, we make our decision based on the facts and the law in each case.
Again, she will be in court tomorrow for a bond hearing. We are still waiting to see when the final arrangements will be for Pastor Floyd. Tavarius Haywood, Action News 5.
Guys, that's the story of Pastor Ricky Floyd. May he rest in peace. Gunned down by a woman, 1 o'clock this morning. Now, it's a lot of questions in this. And if you paid attention when you watched the first video I showed you that first broke last night, I guess. It said he was in front of the Mama's Bar and Restaurant or wherever that's at, right? 1 o'clock in the morning. Him and the woman, they said on the video, him and the woman got into an argument or some type of disagreement. She was with two guys, supposedly. How come it never mentioned these two guys, and how come she got arrested by herself, and what role did these two guys play in it? Second thing is, it said that he was walking away. Then he came back and walked towards her. Before that, he threw her phone on the ground. So they was getting in some type of heated situation 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't understand. But the one thing they said a lot of people might miss, said it was a crime of passion. So what is his relationship with this woman, and how did he get to the point where he was shot? So, I mean, it's a lot going on, but they said good things about the man. All I know is what they said about him, said he was a good guy, you know, and he helped the community. He stayed and tried to fight the war on being nonviolent. I have no problem with that. And it's just sad that somebody else got killed in the street. But if you look back at it, he said, you know, he looked like he a large man. I don't know the stature of this woman. He walked back, she popped him. I don't know, maybe. We'll see. But I mean, it's just upsetting that, I mean, even a man of God is not immune to gun violence in the street. Either way, man, we'll figure out. I'll keep an update on this story. Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.